The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air.
This city is built for a king. It took a long time, but I finally undid everything that my father, Hezekiah, has done. He destroyed all of our ancient high places. They've been around for decades, but not on my watch. I restored all of the high places, and I've erected a statue for Asherah and Baal. Oh, but nothing compares to the statue of Asherah that I have placed in the house of the Lord. I have hired craftsmen to capture every celestial god known to man, so that it doesn't have to be nighttime for me to worship the stars. I can worship the stars and my gods at any time. My father, rest his soul, was confused. He took away the power of the gods, but I, Manasseh, have successfully restored them.
Second Kings chapter 21 is a chapter marked by a stark contrast of leadership. Here, the righteous reign of King Hezekiah is followed by a troubling era of his son Manasseh, whose reign is marked by idolatry and moral decay. Join us as we explore the complex interplay of faith, righteousness, and the enduring impact of leadership choices. In this episode, we delved into the profound lessons offered by Second Kings chapter 21. As always, be blessed and enjoy. All right, welcome back to another episode of a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts,
Nakhaz Gay.
and Earl Roberts. Hopefully everyone there had a great week. Hopefully their week is going good and get a good time to relax on this weekend, this Sabbath, and enjoy the blessings of God. How's your week been, man?
My week is good, bro. This is my last week being 29.
Oh, okay. That's it's like
So
I was like, where is this going?
little cliffhanger.
I was like, podcast is done, guys.
I was about to say, hate to tell you, this is my last week on air with you. It's been a good run. It's a live reaction.
We're about to have what was Shot and Shop and Skip Bayless moment.
Oh yeah, on air. You see it crumble. But yeah, this is my last week in my 20s. By next episode, when we talk about Josiah, I would be 30 by the grace of God, So just thinking about how I anticipate the next decade to be.
Mercy.
You know what I'm saying? Like the last decade, it was good. It was very, I want to say, inconsistent. It wasn't how you imagined your 20s would be. Like it's a lot of roller coaster, especially because of the pandemic or whatever. Like I think the pandemic really changed me in a way. Even going out, you know what I mean? Like
Bro, think of yourself from 2013 to now, bro.
Yeah, that's true. 2013 to now,
like,
bro.
Exactly. Like when you because you're just going back like 4 years. Right? I'm like, nah, but let's go back 10. Let's go back
10,
to 2013, bro. 20.
Woo!
Like, do you think 2013 Nakhaz would have pictured 2023 Nakhaz to be where he is right now?
I don't think so, bro. Because this is the thing. In 2013, I wasn't even doing poetry, bro.
Mm.
Bro, you see how crazy, bro? You see
A
what I mean?
decade is
Like
a long time, bro.
a decade is a long time, bro. It's like so many things change. 2013, Nakhaz, the very next year, he started really going hard with the poetry. You know what I'm saying? That changed my trajectory. You see what I'm saying? Even music changed my trajectory. Getting married changed my trajectory. You know,
Mercy.
it's like a lot of life changing things that happened to me. So it's like before I had these things, I couldn't imagine having these things. Like it's not that I would have counted myself out, but I just didn't think about it, you know. That wasn't in my vision. I didn't think that far ahead even in 2013.
That's
You know?
wild, man. Like, I mean, proud of you, dog. Like,
Appreciate it.
a long way in 10 years, man. Like, great journey. Great journey. Like
2013 though, bro. Man, bro.
my man just really started reflecting.
That's what I'm saying though, bro. We was barely using Instagram in 2013, bro. Like
Bro,
we was
I
still trying to
wasn't,
get the
bro.
hang it up.
I wasn't. I was stubborn, right? I don't even think I started using Instagram. I can be real, but like I was talking to one girl at the time, and she was trying to force me to use Instagram, bro. And I was like, I'm just not doing it. I honestly don't think I hop on Instagram until like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
That's when everybody else was on it. And I was like, I started to feel left out, bro.
Let me see what it's about. Let me check it out.
I think it's pictures. Like,
yeah, we got Facebook already, bro. I mean, come on. Like, but that's how I was with Facebook, though. I was not trying to give up high five on MySpace. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, God is good. Let me keep it on God. But God is good, bro. God is good.
Amen.
I am happy. You know what I'm saying, to be approaching this next milestone in the last year. I've been just doing stuff that I chose not to do. You know what I'm saying? I try to be on top of things because I'm like, bro, now I cannot fool myself, bro. I'm an adult, bro. I'm a full-blown adult. When I hit 30, bro, like I know big half the viewers out there say, no, 30 still young, bro. Like even our youth choir used to go up to 30, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mercy.
And so, but me, the way I view that age, bro, you a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I feel like to be a man, bro, for real, like you gotta take care of your responsibilities in every aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like try not to make excuses and just you gotta overcompensate for times where you lack. You know, like this year, you remember at the beginning of the year, I was talking about my weight loss goals. You know what I'm saying? My fitness goals. Bro, I fell off probably 2 months, and that 2 months I had it was a lot of traveling to do. So it wasn't easy for me to go to the gym because now when I'm back home, bro, they want me pay like $20 a day to go on the gym. I'm like, bro, it just makes it harder for me, right? But other than that, I've been very consistent. Now my diet could have been better. I agree on that. But I've been very consistent in the gym, bro. And when I don't hit the benchmarks that I know that I used to hit in my earlier 20s, now I realize I got to work harder on certain things. I was getting injured like crazy at the beginning of the year because I wasn't factoring in Father Time. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I hurt my knee in June or July. Bro, I just now waking up and saying, wow, my knee is not stiff no more. I just tell Yana that this week. I was like, bro, my knee is not stiff anymore. like for real. But I started taking fish oil and, being on top of my supplements too. You feel me? Like, I need to lubricate these joints, bro.
But God is good. SS tonic.
I telling you, bro, I had to bring out the WD-40, bro. But God is good, bro. So that's
amen.
That's really what's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks. Just preparing for this next chapter, this next decade.
That's what's up.
So how was your week, though?
My week is crazy busy. I actually worked until like 12 o'clock last night, so that's insane.
Really, bro.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
No step.
That's an everyday thing. But yeah, man, overall, man, God is good. God is good. Like, even like this week I was reflecting on like just ways he has blessed me throughout the year. I mean, we're in October now. October is already come when it's flying by with breakneck speed. I mean, this episode is coming out. Well, we recording it on Tuesday? It's coming out this Friday. Coming out like on the 20th. Like, man, think about it, like, this is our second last episode in October.
Yeah.
Like, we maybe have 10 more episodes left for the year, if that. Like, man, the year is going by fast. And in the like daily constant busyness, we can lose track of like what God has actually done for us and brought us through this year. So like this past weekend, and even like this past week too, like in the business, I've been trying to like just reflect and be like, yo, God's been bringing me through the year. Like some tight jams, I didn't see a way out. Like God's been making a way. Some unexpected bills, like God's been providing with them to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like different business things taking off. Like God's doing his thing. God's doing his thing, and it's like we lose sight of it when we're just so focused on the what's right in front of us that we forget what we've just come through. And we see the Israelites doing that constantly. And we look at them and be like, how did y'all just not realize that God just blessed you? But we look at it too, and we're like, yo, I'm facing this mountain right now. Forget the two mountains I just got over. Like I'm just facing this, and we get so tunnel vision. Like we just need to accomplish what's in front of us and get through our next hurdle. That we forget the marathon we've just been running. So I think especially as we get through closer down at the end of the year, birthdays, times like this is when it's good to like just reflect on like the goodness of God and just remember like the blessings he's actually bestowed upon your life. Yeah, it doesn't mean everything's perfect. Doesn't mean that you're not currently swamped with work or swamped with the trials of life, but it's a constant reminder that God has brought you through these previous ones. Now you can make it through these next ones.
Yeah, bro, most definitely, bro.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, also like I guess in current news events, prayers for everything that's happening in the world, like all the different wars. I mean, the media focuses on two main ones, but there's other things happening around the world. But I know the one that's getting the most shine recently is the Israel-Palestine one. So prayers out to that whole entire situation.
Bro, in my ignorance, I didn't realize how tone deaf it was for me to ask that gentleman that I sat next to when we were bordering, who was a Palestinian, if he had ever gone to Tel Aviv. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
See, but bro, the thing about it is, he was so ecstatic and explaining to me everything about Dubai and traveling, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I wanted to broaden the conversation in terms of like world travel. You know, because at first he told me he's from Dubai. Later in the conversation, he told me Palestine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even focus on the Palestine. I just focus on, oh, you're from Dubai. You see what I'm saying? But the thing about it is when I went to Dubai, I realized that the majority, they say 90% of the people that live there are expats. So you know what I'm saying? He probably was born in Palestine region for a while, moved to Dubai, spent most of his formative years there before he came to America. You know what I'm saying? But I reached out to him, man. Like I told him I'm praying for him and his people during this time. And you know, I think he appreciated, you know what I'm saying, my I don't want to say support because it ain't like I picking a side, but I think he appreciated my compassion, you know what I'm saying, in this situation. But I'll be honest with you, bro, it's been very fascinating these events, bro, like the war and like the, you know what I'm saying, the violence on both sides. It's been very fascinating because
both sides,
because bro, I remember I was living in my old apartment, bro. So this would have had to have been in the last 2 years. I remember one of them places being bombed and it hit the news for like 2 days. You know what I'm saying? And we went on. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's been all our lives. That's how it's been our parents' lives. You know, even their parents' lives to some degree, depending on how old they are. There's been tension for decades between these two. But now it's the first time I ever really looked at it like in a really deep level. And it's like, it's really hard to speculate on, bro. It's very hard, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, depending on which side you listen to, they both feel like it's a holy war, you know what I'm saying, that's being fought. And they both feel entitled, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, I just can't, regardless of whose side or whatever, right? Everybody's saying this for God or God say this, blah, 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 blah. So in my mind, I'm like, bro, to see civilians, bro, you know what I'm saying? Kids, you know what I'm saying?
Innocent
Like
people, like.
innocent people, bro, like just get hurt, you know, get killed. It's like, I'm like, bro, I don't see the God in that at all. And it's me being neutral. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, bro. I don't have a side or something that I'm like, bro, this right, this wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just really sad to see kids, bro, like innocent people, civilians, people that are not involved in this. People that might not even agree with this, bro. Like this might be pacifists and stuff like that. Like today, bro, I heard of a church, not a church, a hospital, bro.
Yep, I got
Hospital,
bombed.
right? Hundreds of people died, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and one I'm not really that prepared to talk about here, but it's just eye opening, right? It's eye opening. And I mean, I encourage everyone to do their actual non-biased research on the issue, and just see the historical and listen to arguments from both sides. Listen to arguments from both sides. Don't just absorb what any one particular news station is going to tell you, and just do your own research and educate yourself on this issue. It's a very nuanced argument, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah,
but just prayers up. Go for it.
And another thing, you know, Jesus say there'll be wars, rumors of wars, you know what I'm saying? Earthquakes in diverse places, you know, these are the beginning of birth pains. But it also states in that same text, do not worry when you see these things happening, you know what I'm saying? Because these are the beginning of birth pains or great sorrows, I think, depending on the translation.
Good old Matthew 24, right?
Yeah, or 25. I want to say Matthew 25. I don't know, but you know, tomato tomorrow.
Oh my! But yeah, man, like, and even more so now is when we really starting to see it. I mean, people have been saying we've been living in the last ages for years, and that's a very true statement. But I'm like, even more so nowadays, we're hearing about more wars. We are truly seeing earthquakes in very strange places and more frequently, mind you. We are seeing more acts of natural disaster as if the earth itself is crying out. So, again, no one knows the day or the hour. Many people have predicted and was quite honestly very wrong
Yeah.
about when Christ is coming back. But God says these are some of the things to look out for. But it's even interesting to say, like, you know what? Some of these things you're thinking right now, these are just the beginnings of what's to come. And I mean, you read some of these stuff in the New Testament, then you go back to Daniel and you go especially to Revelation, and you really start to see some things that need to happen before the time of before Christ actually comes back, some prophecy that still needs to be fulfilled. So, like God say, like once you know where to put your trust and your faith, you shouldn't be worried about these things, because I mean, these things can really start freaking you out, man. Like, shoot, you can do a Google search, the term WW3 or World War III has been on an increase lately, which are showing like people, like the world itself is generally terrified. It's not just America, like the people around the world are generally terrified because they don't know what's going to happen next. That's a dangerous thing when you don't know or you don't have any faith about what's going to happen next. And that's why Jesus was really just trying to reassure people like, yo, you are going to go through a time of trouble. Things are going to look dire, but like, fear not. You know what I'm saying? Like, fear not. Like, and it's crazy to think. People are like, what can be worse than this? Just wait and find out.
Boy, wait till you see what happened at the end of that book.
Boy.
But Matthew 24, verse 7. Matthew 24, verse 7.
Boy, when you start, are you going to read it? Oh, I thought you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I can read it, though. Let me see. This is the Nasby, 1995. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And in various places, there will be famines and earthquakes. I wish they had the whole text. Anyway, bro, I'm not versed on using the Bible app on the computer. So, wait, no, never mind. I got it. 24, verse 7. And this is the KJV. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places, and these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And it goes on for another like 4 verses, but it's really talking about end time and persecution, etc., etc. Oh, okay. And then in verse 15, and then it says, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. And that goes to your point where you say, when you read the Old Testament, you read the Daniel and you read the prophecies, and then you compare them to Revelation because they kind of mirror each other. It gives you a better understanding of what God is trying to prepare us for when it comes to the end time. So, and I'm saying this for the people that are more New Testament based. Jesus himself, this is a direct quote from Jesus, said he told us to read Daniel specifically. You know what I'm saying? So, because Jesus understood that the Old Testament has prophecies that have not been fulfilled yet during his time. And because we can see this is talking about the end times, it means that that also has not been fulfilled yet. So if you're more New Testament based, then there's going to be some prophecy and some context that you miss that can only be found in the Old Testament.
Yes, sir. All right, one more thing on this. I mean, you go to Revelation 6 and 8. You read about them seals and them trumpets, and you be like, boy, a lot worse to come, son.
You read with them horsemen and things. Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. All right. Anyway, again, all prayers to all the like stuff and happening around the world, the wars, the natural disasters, the famine, even in Africa, man, there have been so much military coups this year and people living in a state of like just unknown government type situations. Like these things don't even get news coverage that often. Like they might be in a news headline for like a day, or not even a whole day, like a brief segment. Oh, there's been a new coup in Gambia or something. You're like, well, what? Okay, interesting. But like these are real people living in these like literally wartime situations that get no coverage. So
and they also feel like they fighting a holy war, bro. That's the crazy thing about it too, bro. Like, and these things been happening for a long time, bro. I remember, man, I don't want to go on a tangent, but early like I want to say like 2014-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a weak coverage, Joseph Kony type situation. You know what I mean? Like you read up on that, bro. You see you got thousands of child soldiers and stuff like that.
I was scared and all, man. I was like, what's this Kony guy, bro? Like, what's about to happen, bro?
Like what to do? So we read about it for a week and then nothing, bro. You never hear but bro again, bro. You know what I mean? I just just gotta stay prayed up, bro. But like God say, like Jesus say, bro, fear not, because it's only the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Don't freak yourself out right now, bro.
You're gonna give yourself a heart attack.
I'm telling you.
Oh my. Okay. So now for today's regularly scheduled program, before the turn to the next off-script episodes, which I do like those episodes though, but we got 2 kings to talk about today. So we are in 2 Kings, chapter 21. So for context, you want to go through like the recap of Hezekiah?
Yeah, so last week we spoke about Hezekiah while he was on his deathbed. It was pretty early into his reign. I want to say I think he ran 29 years maybe. But Hezekiah, he was sick, and the Lord was telling him, the Lord brought Isaiah to him to tell him, get your house in order because you will not survive this. You know what I'm saying? And he prayed unto the Lord. Asked the Lord to reconsider because he has been he reigned 29 years. I just want to confirm that. So this was year 14, right? And he prayed to the Lord and he was like, man, remember me. I walk before you in truth with a loyal heart, and I've done what was good in your sight, And Isaiah, he left. He had left Hezekiah's room. He was he hadn't left the building. He was still in the courtyard. And the Lord spoke to Isaiah and said, yo, go to Hezekiah and tell him he will get 15 more years on his life. And so the Lord told him that. And it's alluded in Second King, in 2 Kings chapter 20, that when he one more thing I wanted to mention, I hate missing out part of the story and having to go back, but Hezekiah asked for a sign, and the Lord told him that, long story short, I'm going to turn back time, you know what I'm saying, so that you can, just to prove to you that I'm going to hold good on my promise of giving you 15 years. And the Babylonians, some astrologers from Babylon, that really, it was astounding to them, so they came to speak to Hezekiah. And long story short, Hezekiah boasted about it in such a way, and he was very proud of the 15 years that he got, and the supernatural miracle that the Lord performed for him. And the Lord found pride in his heart, and the Lord, rebuked Hezekiah and told him that, bro, your line will be cursed because of this situation, because you brought these Babylonians here. You showed them everything. You was showing off, bro. You was basically boasting on all of the blessings that I gave you. You took the credit, and you were being proud, and, all of that jazz. And he ended up bringing a curse on his line. And even while he did that, it seemed that he didn't even care. He was like, bro, so I mean, I straight though. Like he was asking, bro, okay, you say my son's going to be eunuchs and stuff like that, but what about me? And so it is clear that in the 14 years, this was a turning point in his life. The first 14 years, he had been an upright king. He had removed the high places and stuff. And the last 15 years, we could see just by this one scenario that he was not he was not practicing the righteousness that he had been practicing for the past 14 years. He kind of showed new colors. I ain't gonna say true colors, but he kind of showed new colors that, his riches and, his, sometimes when you are protected, you kind of show off. Like when you got your big brother or your big cousin there, you could act different. You see what I'm saying? The Lord had protected him and granted him peace from the Assyrians, and he started to kind of show off a little bit, and that displeased the Lord greatly. And so now we in this chapter we talking about his son Manasseh, who was a very young man when he came on the throne, and so you could see that he probably. He hadn't even had Manasseh at the time, and he was about to die. He probably would have died without an heir unless, he had another child or something. But, here we have Manasseh, the heir, the son of Hezekiah.
Yeah, so in reading from verse 1, Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. That's a long reign.
It's a very long reign, and it goes to show this was year 3. This was year 17 of Hezekiah's reign, but this would have been the 3rd year after the Lord granted him 15 years. You know what I'm saying? When he had this child.
Exactly.
And he had Manasseh.
His mother's name was Hephzibah, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord according to the abominations of the nations whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. So we see when we go to introduce to his father, King Hezekiah, King Hezekiah was the first king whom God had said, who the Bible had said in Judah, did everything right according to David. Because Hezekiah even went the extra step as in removing the high places that no other king daringly wanted to touch. And we kind of came to the conclusion, because this was right off of the heels of the Northern Empire, the kingdom of Israel, being captured by the Assyrians and taken over by the Assyrians, Neo-Assyrian Babylonian Empire, however you want to say it. But so King Hezekiah was on his P's and Q's at the beginning of his reign. But now you would think, if anything, his son, who had Hezekiah as his father, direct father, would be at least good. This man, the Bible says, he did evil in the sight of the Lord according to the abominations of the nations whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. So we see this guy really doesn't look to be in good company already. But the Bible continues in verse 3. For he rebuilt the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. He raised up the altars of Baal, and he made a wooden image as Ahab, king of Israel, had done. And he worshipped all the host of heaven and served them. He also built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, in Jerusalem, I will put my name. And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he also made his son pass through the fire. He practiced soothsaying, used witchcraft, and consulted spiritualists and mediums, witches. And he
straight up. However they classify them, witch, mediums, you know what I mean?
Like all the fancy names. The Bible's making sure we get all of them. Just making sure y'all know all of these in the same boat.
Exactly. And I like that though. I like that.
No, for real. One more thing. Two more things. He did much evil inside the Lord to provoke him to anger. If that ain't enough, he even set a carved image of us. I can imagine this person was writing, and it was like, hold on, man.
And one more thing.
Like they'd already finished their thought, right? Something like, oh, should we forget this?
One more. Hey, don't forget this. And they probably ain't had no eraser back then.
Exactly. So, I ain't starting this over.
I starting that over, bro.
He even set a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the house of the Lord, which the Lord had said to David and Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name on forever. And I will not make the feet of Israel wander any more from the land which I gave their fathers, only if they are careful to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they paid no attention, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than the nations whom the Lord had destroyed before the children of Israel. So those 8 verses says a lot. It shows the true character
of
Manasseh's heart, and quite honestly, the heart of just Judah at this point in time.
So I just like how the author says, bro, it's like 1 plus, it's like cause and effect. Verse 7, he even set a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the house of the Lord, right? So he put Asherah in the house of the Lord, right? And then they pivoted and said, this is the same house where God was like, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever, and I will not make the feet of Israel wander any more from the land which I gave their fathers, only if they are careful to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. So he basically saying, bro, this man just put an idol in the very place where God specifically said, hey, I am building this house as a sign between us that you all will be safe and you all won't have to get uprooted as long as you obey me. And here it is is it ironic? The irony, bro, that you're disobeying him in the same house where he was like, bro, this is the sign, you know what I'm saying, that if you obey me, things will go good. So it was like basically saying, bro, from you do this, you basically asking God to break the promise, you know what I'm saying, and to uproot us and to make sure that people, you know what I'm saying, will cities will rise against us and destroy us, because that's basically what you're telling God. If God say, yo, do everything according to as I say, and I will do X, Y, Z, when you don't hold up the end of the bargain, you can only assume that God is going to act accordingly,
For real.
And so I find that interesting. But another thing I want to say is that I'm actually glad that the Bible goes and say witchcraft, spirits, mediums, because divination is another word they use. If you're not versed in these words, and I believe that if you read the Bible and you retain, or if you can pay attention going through it, I know some people have a harder time than others, you would know God's stance on witchcraft and mediums. For those who listen to our podcast regularly and listen to episodes on Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, even Judges, it's abundantly clear the way God feels about witches. Even in Exodus, they have texts like, don't suffer a witch to live. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is caught doing witchcraft, the Lord I will cut you off from, what I'm saying, from the rest of the nation or whatever. Like, God is very distinct about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes someone might read that, oh, this person went to a medium. They might not even put two and two together, bro, this witchcraft again. Or this one practiced divination. They might not put two and two together that this is, all of these words are what we in the English language call witchcraft. You understand what I'm saying? However, nowadays, people do witchcraft and it's rebranded. You know what I'm saying? It might be card readings or palm readings, you know what I'm saying? Psychic type of situation. Don't always come in the form of seance. You see what I'm saying? But it's all under one umbrella. And when the Bible like gets specific, it helps you to realize, bro, like if you go into a medium, bro, you in the same boat as the spiritist and the witchcraft and all of these things, bro. It's plain as day. I saw somebody on Twitter. It was a big discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Twitter, you just don't know what group of people you run it into a lot of the times, and it can go either way, bro. You might have a discussion where everybody riding for the Bible today, and another one where the Bible keepers probably
no more.
Yeah, like you see what I'm saying? Like, so this dude was talking about how his hot take is that that don't be your parents and your relatives and your ancestors that you all be talking to, meaning like when you think you see the deceased, when they visit you, etc. He's trying to say that that's not your actual relative, but that's a spirit. That's what he was trying to say without saying. And a lot of people replied by saying, wait till you all see that Saul spoke to Samuel after he died. When you read the First Samuel account of it, it just mentions that he spoke to him, right? But if you don't already have the understanding of how God feels, you could say, oh, wait. Was he okay? Was this good? Because the text don't really say what he did was right or wrong. Mm-hmm. It's not until you go into First Chronicles that they say Saul died because he disobeyed the Lord and because he practiced divination or he went to a medium, But even early in the text with the witch of Endor, it says that Saul had killed all of the riches in the land. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you don't understand that God had already said in the law that this should happen, you would just think this is just a random piece of information somebody give you. But here it is. We have Manasseh, who not only bypassed his father, he is actually worse than nations that never had God. You see what I'm saying?
Bro, like, this man, we thought Ahab was bad. Go back to our Ahab episodes. They probably, like, who knows, like 20 episodes ago now. Feel like we ain't talk about Ahab in forever, right? But go back to Ahab. This guy was awful, bro. This guy was in direct opposition to Elijah at the time, bro. Like, he
called him his enemy.
My enemy, killing prophets left, right, and center. Him and Jezebel farming, go out to send a farmer to try to wake him up. That still ain't work. Like, Ahab was just evil, bro. And this man making Ahab look like a small fry. He made Jeroboam look like a small fry. This man got it, bro. He literally sacrificed his own son. This man is just evil. I don't know what he's evil.
Yeah. See, because the thing with him, I don't know if I might be forgetting this, but I don't know if there was emphasis that Ahab was pushing the Israelites in his shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, the way you lead your country, people are gonna follow suit. You know what I'm saying? But we see where Manasseh seduced them, the people of Judah,
exactly,
to do more evil than the other nations that the Lord had destroyed. Think about it, bro. So when God came to Abraham, was like, bro, giving you this land, but not yet, because their iniquity ain't finished yet. Like, they ain't reached the threshold where it's like, this gonna be their consequence. They had already been paid for their sins, right? But Manasseh is pushing Judah to be worse than the people who God punished already.
Bro, I know what even, like, Man, you know what even like more powerful, right? Because it's like right right after this, right after this in the Chronicles account, like right after the same line, bro. The Chronicles account, you read Chronicles, Second Chronicles chapter 33, right? I think it's verse 10, which ironically, the verse 10 is the next verse right after this. But either way, it says like, and God spoke to Manasseh and the people, and they did not listen.
Oh wow.
So it's like, literally, you see all this Manasseh telling them, seduce them to do more evil. God coming and be like, bro, y'all really need to ease up. Y'all really need to stop. And they did not listen to God. Like, that's just wild. That's just wild.
Because even in that text, like they were saying, when the author was saying, oh, he put Asher in the same place that was supposed to be a sign that not to worship idols. And then it goes on to say, but they paid no attention. You
no attention at all, bro.
So Manasseh, when he became of age, he see this temple that only had the Most High God in it. And he say, I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like I putting all type of other gods in here, but like God gotta, Yahweh gotta go. You see what they saying? Like Asherah, and that's following. I won't say another term he's used, but anyway, I ain't gonna say it. But that's following fashion. You know what I mean? I know how better to say it. You see what I say? Like, bro. Yeah. So anyway, bro. So I just like, bro. I remember my sister and I were in Atlanta, right? We went to a high school for one semester in Atlanta. And we were kind of like the oddballs because, we were the only islanders around. And the school we went to, it wasn't a lot of, I don't know much other island people who was even at that school. But we came across these kids from the VI. You see what I'm saying? And we became really close because we had so much cultural similarities. And we would just talk about reggae. And my boy Maurice, who was he was an American, he was like, man, y'all accent so strong, bro. I think the artist's name is Ray J, bro. Y'all calling him reggae, right? And we was like, bro, no, bro, reggae is a genre of music. I said, bro, you never heard of Bob Marley? And he said, no, like he had never heard of it, bro.
Wow.
I kid you not, bro. I kid you not. My boy went home that day, went on YouTube, listened to as much reggae as possible, bro. He came back with a Bob Marley dog chain on, bro. And he was like, bro, that reggae stuff is aight, right? But it was so funny. When we put him on, bro, he changed his whole aesthetic, bro. Like he was wearing Bob Marley paraphernalia, bro. Like you can see that really touch him, bro. Like, you feel me? And so I just think about this man, Manasseh, right? Bro, culturally, this is not your culture. You see what I'm saying? Like that's like me going to Greece, right? And I coming home and I come back to the Bahamas talking about these Greek gods and stuff like that. It's like, bro, okay, like
my
that's
boy
interesting.
gets some marble statues and ported into his house.
You see they saying these
naked men.
You see they saying like, I'm like these naked white chiseled men, like bro, like it would just be like, bro, like you had to go through so much to adopt this other culture. That's my opinion, But to me, it also kind of makes you wonder what was his influences at home, because
I was just about to say that too. Yeah, keep going.
Because we've had kings in the past whose father, I think, we had so many kings whose names start with J. You know what I'm saying? But I think Jehu was good, and I think his son was. I can't keep up, bro. But anyway, we had kings who was very wicked. And I think maybe Ahaz's father was good, or maybe his son. Anyway, like I say, brothers and sisters, I confused it. It's been a lot. But we've had kings who, like, unprovoked, they just were unrighteous. You know what I'm saying? Like their father did what was good in what was good in the eyes of the Lord, and they just came out to be rebellious.
Like, because even along that line, right? We know at the end of somewhere, but in his 15 good years, his 15 day of life extension, King Hezekiah was heavily influenced by the Babylonians, as they even came to him and inquired about how time moved backwards and everything, and he took credit for it, right? But the reason why I bring up their influence now is because the Babylonians, to your point last week or 2 weeks ago, were the ones who were heavily involved in astrology and the host of heaven. And you can see what was this guy named Manasseh, one of the first things he did was he erected altars to the entire host of heaven and served them. That's a Babylonian influence right there.
Mm.
And so his influence from Hezekiah being in bed with the Babylonians quite honestly could have rubbed off on his son. I mean, we were talking off pod, right? But we know this guy was in Hezekiah's later years. It's a fact because he was 12 years old when he took the throne. So he already taken the throne young and impressionable. He might have generally liked the Babylonians because that was a new up and coming world power. And now he's like, all right, let's try to be like them and not really. And I just don't think Hezekiah was at the stage of his life as almost like reminds me of David, ironically, who he was likened to Hezekiah. But in David's later years, and we talked about this in our David episode, David wasn't the best role model. He was letting things happen. The prophet Nathan, come to him, was like, yo, bro, we already agreed that Solomon's supposed to be king. Why you letting this next guy try to come and take the throne for? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of see Hezekiah being the same way. He wasn't his what do I call it, zealousness for God might have dissipated in his later years, and the sons suffer, the children suffer. The good godly influence just isn't there anymore. And this guy, he was a kid when he took the throne. Let's just call it what it is. He was a kid when he took the throne. Highly impressionable. You got to make the decisions. And who even knows who else is in your court? And if you don't have that influence from your father, or you might just be imitating the father that you know, and not maybe the father was in bed with the Babylonians. And so you just take it up to a whole different extreme. And who knows how much history you've studied.
Yeah, because, so Hezekiah loved the Babylonians so much. He showed them everything. You see what I said? Like, he showed them every single thing, right? I given you a full tour, right? And so you never know how that relationship continued. And when, this boy named Manasseh, he could have been taking trips with him to Babylon and just developing a liking to them.
Bro, think about it, bro. Like, Manasseh technically was born in a world where the northern kingdom of Israel was already conquered.
Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't even know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so interesting when you actually think about the context. It's like he literally grew up in a world where he doesn't know what it is to not be with Israel being a free nation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how our kids going to grow up in a world where they don't even know a world that doesn't have AI. Which is a crazy thing to think about. Like,
I tell you the joke when this young girl, she might be like 12. She was using like a cassette player. No, was it a CD player or a cassette player? She keeps saying, yeah, that's how they used to listen to music in the 1900s. Oh man. But anyway, right? So what I was trying to say earlier, Ahaz was righteous.
Mm-hmm.
He had a son named Hoshea. Hoshea was wicked. You see what I'm saying? Like, Hoshea was wicked off air, bro. Like we ain't even had nothing to say, well, oh yeah, he was influenced by this and that. That just was him. You see what I'm saying? Nah, Hoshea had a son, Hezekiah. You understand what Hezekiah can't sense? Hezekiah say, my daddy was freaking out. My grandfather wasn't like that. You know what I mean? And I seen the other nations was following in the same path as my dad and see what they get. No.
Exactly.
It is to serve the Lord. You feel me? And so now we have Josiah. They kind of ping-ponging in Israel now. They ain't gonna happen for too long, but not Josiah, I'm sorry. We have Manasseh. I'm sorry. They kind of ping-ponging good, evil, good, good, bad, or whatever. But overall, bro, when we see the lengths to which Manasseh was going through, bro, when they say he killed innocent blood and things like that, I don't even know if we had. Now, mind you, Ahab did do that. That's a fact, bro. Ahab he tried to kill every prophet of the Lord, right?
But I don't extermination of good.
Wait, what?
Ahab was an extra, no, I ain't gonna lie.
No, he
killed like 500 prophets, bro. Ahab was on a vendetta to kill good.
Yeah, bro, and it's like, y'all know these prophets, bro. Like, y'all know them, bro. Like, you know who Elijah is, bro. You see what I'm saying? You see him one day, he doing something for you, or he bringing this prophecy, but the other day you like, but he killing you, bro. Like, listen, real Tom and Jerry, bro.
Ahab was so bad, but Elijah wanted to die, bro.
Yeah, bro. Elijah's like, man, I can't keep doing this, God. Man.
Like,
But I don't want to be here, bro. You see what they said? I don't want to be here, bro. You see what they said? But yeah, bro, this man Manasseh, I know, but like just the way, just the way they summarize him, bro. They summarize him like he really, really had no, like he had no regard for God. Like that wasn't his thing. Like I ain't really into this Yahweh fella. You know what I mean? Like I into everything though. Except him.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Speak kind of volumes when you say, like Solomon, right? Nah, Solomon's a different case, but Solomon erect altars and stuff for all his other wives. But some of these kings, they like, by now I putting my idols right in the temple. You see what I saying?
Yeah.
I putting my idols in the temple. It's their temple now.
Blatant disrespect to God.
Yeah.
In verse 16, moreover, Manasseh shed very much innocent blood.
Mm-hmm.
Till he filled Jerusalem from one end to the other. Besides his sin by which he made Judah sin in doing evil in the sight of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh and all he did and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Manasseh rested with his fathers and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah. Then his son Amon reigned in his place. And one little caveat I will say is, if you read the Second Chronicles 33, they tell a little bit different side of Manasseh's life. After God told him he didn't listen, God had actually carried him to a humble experience where he was actually taken to Babylon, like captured and taken prisoner to Babylon. Prayed to God. God, heard his prayer, and which we saw that Manasseh did have a come to Jesus moment, as we like to call it. But just in the full fairness,
mm-hmm.
Someone's going to, sorry, go for it.
No, go on, bro.
I'm saying, someone might come, I'm like, oh yeah, you only read the Second Chronicles 33 account. Manasseh isn't as evil as y'all make it seem.
What?
I just saying. I just saying.
I feel you though, but yeah, no, and it just depends.
Ready for that one.
I was like, no, but in my mind, I was like, not as evil as we make it seem. I think we even skip a part, bro, because bro, God say, bro, God say I can wash you like a dish and turn you upside down. What do you say? But I would wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. For I would forsake the remnant of my inheritance. You know what's so funny, bro? We got quotes in the Bible where God said, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you." But God is explicitly saying, bro, I will forsake you, bro. You see what I'm saying? I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become victims of plunder to all their enemies, because they have done evil in my sight and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came out of Egypt, even to this day. You see what I'm saying? So now it does matter, bro, in the context of his life. See, King's really showing
that whole part by part.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I was like, I feel like I jumped.
Yeah, I see. In the King's narrative, right? They tell so up until verse 15, they speaking in general on your boy, right? And all of this would have happened before he get captured, because as we know in Chronicles, after he was captured, he had a change of heart, and so he wasn't the same person. So King's really focusing on him at the state before he was captured, or whatever. So, if someone say he wasn't that bad, no, he was that bad, but he wasn't bad his whole life. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the innocent blood, in terms of the innocent blood, I just want to state that the Bible does not say how Isaiah died, but it is commonly accepted that Isaiah was killed by Manasseh. Some people, it's speculation on how he died. Some people say he was put into a tree and then sawed in half. Some people say he was hiding in a tree and was discovered and was sawed in half. But I think in the Talmud, which is a Jewish like historic text, they mention that Isaiah died by the hands of King Manasseh, you know what I'm saying, during his reign. And so, scholars believe that when they say he shed innocent blood, that was one of the example of the innocent blood that he shed, the prophet Isaiah. And if you really do the math, Isaiah would have died somewhere around this time, because we can see where he prophesied to. Like if you read the book of Isaiah, they talk about the kings that he prophesied to, and it ended at Hezekiah. So we can speculate that he either died during Hezekiah's reign or during Manasseh's reign. You know what I'm saying? But
man, your boy says it cause your ears to tingle.
Boy.
God said that's never a good thing.
No.
I mean, severe judgment is coming, my friend.
Serious
Severe judgment. Some serious ramifications for your actions. Mercy. So now, King Amon was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother name was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haruz of Jobbah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh had done. So he walked in, all the ways of his father. He walked in all the ways that his father had walked, and he served the idols that his father had served and worshipped them. He forsook the Lord of his fathers and did not walk in the way of the Lord. Then the servants of Ammon, I don't know what that's so hard for me to say, conspired against him and killed the king in his own house. But the people of the land executed all those who had conspired against King Amnon, and the people of the land made his son Josiah king in his place, which also, God made the promise to David, and God's just making sure the promise also keeps to, your line will be in the throne of Judah, because, again, if this is a northern kingdom, that whole bloodline was getting wiped out. We see how much different bloodline ruled.
I'm going to say it.
Man. Now the rest of the acts of Amnon, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And he was buried in the tomb of the garden of Uzzah. Then Josiah, his son, reigned in his place.
Yeah, I think it's hard to actually read these stories and to not know how God feel about sin, how God feel about witchcraft. These things is very compelling, bro. Like in the Old Testament, it's a lot of repetitive stuff that's happening. No matter the circumstance, no matter if the nation up, if they in captive, if they speaking directly to God, if they speaking through prophet or by dream, or if the Lord bring a judge, a king, no matter the circumstance, the people of God are inclined to wander away and follow after their own devices. During this time, idol worship and witchcraft was a serious snare to the Israelites. But it was prophesied in the book of Judges. Was it Joshua? I think it was Joshua, like chapter 1 or chapter 2. But they were saying how the Israelites did not rid the land of the Canaanites, and so they would be a snare to them. I read in Bible Gateway. That's where I read this text. And in the footnotes, Asherah, a Canaanite goddess, right? But this is you could see 100% where the Canaanites were a snare to you all and led you all to convert to their religion. You know what I'm saying? Of worshiping idols continuously, bro. Like it's generations upon generations, bro. We have one prime example of the nation of Israel. We see where it got them, bro. Israel was worshiping idols straight through, bro. They bounce around multiple different types of idols. This man was worshiping Baal, bro. I can't remember the last time I heard about Baal for real.
I was thinking the same thing when I was rereading this chapter. But I was like, wait, Baal ain't been around for a while, Dred.
That's what I said, bro.
I've been doing a little good lately.
We had a good couple chapters without hearing about Baal, bro.
No, Baal is back. Guess who's back?
Back like he never left, bro. Back by popular demand. So I don't know, bro. Like stuff like this kind of helps me to understand human nature, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, we create things to put above God. You know what I'm saying? And these things continue, bro, continue to happen to us, bro. Continue to be a snare to us. Continue to take up our time. You know, like a lot of time, like a lot of us don't really have the stumbling block of a physical idol, like a handcrafted idol. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of people idolize a lot of things, bro. Like I look at
Facts.
how our generation, how they view celebrities, and I'll be honest, bro. A lot of people idolize celebrities, bro. I have friends that could tell you everything about a whole clique of people, bro. Like they could say, okay, Earl might be the star. I might be your, but I might be your butler, and you know about me, bro. That's just so tapped in to
Bro,
everything about this person they
that
are.
has tripped me out for real, bro. When these people can tell you like, oh, you all like, oh, you see that person? That's like so and so's A&R, and I'm like, who? Hey, first of all, I don't even know the person you're talking about. But the best
Right.
part, they manager and they A&R. Yeah, if I get him, I could probably get a conversation with this next person. I'm like, bro, what? Like, this is insane.
Yeah, bro. And it's like you might have somebody who famous for playing football, right? And you know they girl, and you just follow their girlfriend. You know what I mean? And like, you see what I'm saying? And I just be like, bro, like,
I know people who guilty of that.
no, for real, bro. Like to me, it just go far, bro. It just go far because I like, no lie, bro. These just people with money, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't nothing more fascinating about them than you or
Mm-hmm.
about any average person. And sometimes it get really obsessive to the point where they if you feel like you entitled to an opinion on their life. They break up with someone or they make a decision and now you very upset like that. That change in your day. And I don't know, I just feel like in general, bro, we idolize a lot of things, but like basketball, that's something that I love, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's something that I really love and I spend a lot of time. And I oftentimes I think about how meaningless it is, bro. Like I could, God forbid, let's say I go on a coma, get stranded on a deserted island for years
God
or something like
forbid.
that. But
Hard.
it's right for real. But the season gonna come and go, bro. Like, new people can win championship, this and that. Bro, I'm not gonna die. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
for real. Like, for me, example, like, personal example, like, I remember, like, when we watched our first NBA season without Kobe Bryant, I was like, dang, the league really different now. Like,
Yeah.
this is my first football season.
What I'm talking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to say, dang, near my life, I feel like, because I really started
Yeah.
watching football since I really, like, for real, like, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, no Tom Brady. It's the first time in my life I ever watched a football game without Tom Brady even being a part of the season. Like,
Mhm.
this is insane. Like, but to your point, like, it goes on. New people get drafted every year. New stars come and go. Like, the world goes on. Like, these people aren't any better than us. And even outside of that, man, if you actually look at the definition of idol, it's like any person or thing that's admired, greatly loved, or revered. Like, we admire so much things that aren't even people, even more than
Mhm.
God. They
That's
become our
true.
objects of worship. We become fanatics over them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, it's something that we all just have to look at and be like, is this thing, is this goal, is this whatever I'm becoming, like, spending so much time and admiration on, is it worth it?
Yeah, bro. And I think a lot of times, like, we idolize ourselves too, because
Of
I
course,
feel like
man. We are gods.
oh,
Okay, no
that's
pun
that's
intended. No
Bible.
pun.
That's Bible though. Remember we
Oh
explained that.
my.
That's
Oh my.
Bible. I feel like, bro, sometimes, bro, it's like we can't not come out on top, bro. Like I ain't trying to. I just can speak from the heart though, bro. My birthday coming up, bro. But some people might say it's a trauma response, bro. But like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I happy because this is a benchmark to show me that another year has passed, bro. But if
Mm-hmm.
I have a regular day, that ain't gonna break me. You see what I'm saying? That ain't gonna, bro. Like, remember I was telling you I have a friend that seriously believe it's like a sin to celebrate your birthday because it's like pride and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I do not agree with him. The text that he support, I believe, is out of context. But I do see that some people really is go really overboard, bro. Like it really is be like you making a god out of self on that day, bro. Like for real, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I go to work on my birthday, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's some people who like that's unheard of to them. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even talk to them a certain way because it's their birthday. And I ain't talking about joking. You see what I'm saying? Like they serious with that, bro. You feel me? And like to me, I like, bro, it really just a day, but like every day is someone different birthday in the world, bro. Imagine if we had to just kiss up to people, like it just wouldn't go, like the world just wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like a lot of times we forget that the world don't revolve around us, bro. Like some people, but you can't take an L, bro. You know, you got to have the last say. You see what I'm saying? You got to come out on top in every situation. And I just feel like I just lack humility sometimes, you know? Like, I think this world really teach us to be as full of ourselves as possible, bro. As full of ourselves, bro. Like, self-indulgent, bro. Have the most of whatever you want to do. Have the best of whatever you want to do. Never settle, but and it's like all of these things sound good, right? But it come at the expense of discipline. But when you have the most of everything, bro, you lack self-control, bro. Like you lack self-denial. But then when we think about the people in the Bible who is esteemed as good or whatever, right? These people who like a John the Baptist, of all the prophets, no man was greater than him. This man live a life of self-denial, bro. Camel print he wearing every day, and he eating locusts and wild honey. Understand what I'm saying? Same thing with Jesus. He ain't even out of house. Now I ain't telling you which extreme to be on, but I just thinking about the examples that we was given. These people, like, they humble, bro. They humble, and that is like, that is celebrated in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when we get to a point where we lack that or we just ignore that in all expenses, I just feel like we making an idol out of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we putting ourselves above everything, even the word of God. And we can see how over and over the Israelites, something was the idol to them. It took the form of physical idols. That was their main thing. Physical idols, other gods. You know what I'm saying? They did anything just to feed their flesh and to ignore God. And it came to the point where the Lord had to really put his foot down and say, truthfully, because y'all broke our agreement, I have to respond the way that I promised I would when you turn your backs on me.
Manasseh practiced witchcraft, child sacrifices, and he also shed innocent blood. As a king, he did much wickedness in the eyes of the Lord. He even enticed his nation, Judah, to be far worse than other wicked nations. And when he died, his son Ammon followed suit. Ammon reigned for 2 years, and he was succeeded by his son Josiah. And let's just say Josiah did not follow in their footsteps. But we'll talk more about that on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Air. Tonight's episode included voice acting by your host, Nakhaz. Remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at Abreathoffreshairpod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.